Hello and welcome to the Sigma Update. I'm QX and hi CW, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. G'day, guys. Thanks for tuning in once again. How's things? Another eventful week we've seen.
Yeah, lots of chatter in the chats this week. Lots of questions being asked. I'm doing my best to field anything I can. Of course, during the workday, don't tell my other job. Oh, this is probably this is recorded. I guess they might know if they watch this. But yeah, some nice chatter in the chats. It's funny. It'll go like that. You'll have a week where you can feel the bear, the winter, and then you'll have a week where it's like, are we in the middle of a bull run right now, or what's up, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good, nice little bit of engagement there as well. People are asking some pretty deep questions, like obviously around SigRSV, the SigmaUSD sort of protocol itself, numerous other topics as well. So it's great to see that the community's having that deep engagement and wanting to know more about the intricacies of these cool little protocols.
For sure, for sure. So we had a guest plan for this week, but something came up, so we are guestless. So that gives us the freedom to kind of freeform a little bit, CW. So I figured we could go over something that we've been speaking about before. We have a real life example of that, and then we can talk about what you just spoke about, a little bit about a SigRSV, maybe a little bit about DEXY Gold, as in simple terms as we can to try to get that out there, and then we can go over the marketing update. How's that sound?
Yep, sounds good, mate. Let's jump in.
Fantastic. So you may have heard us speaking about this before in the wallet segment a couple episodes ago, but one of the wallets out there developed by MHSAM, I believe, right?
Yeah, MHS,
MHS.
and his team. Yeah.
Yes, fantastic. This wallet is called Minotaur. And the unique thing about Minotaur is it allows for a multi-signature wallet. So that means that if CW and I have some funds that maybe we are working on with a partnership, and I don't want CW to spend the funds without, me approving, and he doesn't want me to spend the funds without him approving, we could essentially create this wallet, have the funds deposited into this wallet, and it can't be spent unless both those signatures, in this case, we're asking for 100% to two people, two signatures, is signed. So it's a really neat feature like that. It's good for things like treasuries where you have group accounts and you want consensus on spending or releasing of funds for that kind of thing. So we're actually setting up right now a temporary Sigmanauts multisig wallet. And the purpose of this is to accept some funds that were offered to us as a donation, as a seed from one of the community members. And we wanted to be able to accept this before we actually went forward and finished the governance and the full treasury of the Sigmanaut wallet, or Sigmanaut treasury as far as that goes. So during one of our chats, I think it was Joe or CW mentioned Minotaur wallet. That is a great app for that kind of thing. And we decided to give it a go. So we're going to walk you through a multi-sig setup. We have 7, I think it's 7, right? We have 7 public keys that we can integrate into this wallet. That means we have 7 actors, and we're going to require 4 of those actors to sign the wallet for an approved transaction. I think that's
so a simple 4 of 7 multi-sig setup there. So it's a simple majority, and it's a nice. I think that's a nice round number. Like 4 of 7, I think it's you got enough participants in there, so people may go missing in the ecosystem at any one time.
Die.
Yeah. So who knows? I hope and no one dies, but life happens, and obviously people can't be available all the time. But it's a nice little threshold, I think, just being able to sort of have a number of actors to get sort of things done, but not too many where people can sit on the fence and nothing sort of ends up sort of happening. So I think 4 or 7 is a nice little sort of round number there to for a multi-sig wallet.
All right, let's dive in. So the first thing you'll notice is I've already created my own signature wallet, essentially. And when I say signature wallet, It's a regular wallet. So I've created a normal wallet here that I'm going to use to verify that it's me that's signing this wallet. So you can, I don't recommend importing a wallet here. Maybe you can correct me, CW, but I recommend creating something from scratch. And this is the only thing you use it for. Think of it as your legitimate signature as access and partaking in this protocol of multisig consensus for spending these funds.
Yeah, definitely. And Minotaur is a little bit different compared to other wallets as well, and the way it sort of derives its seed phrases and things like that. So it may not necessarily be compatible with, like, say, a Nautilus wallet for that instance, but there is talks about bringing that up to a standard there and being able to import various other wallets into Minotaur itself. But for any sort of action like this, I highly recommend just creating a new wallet anyway, because it is separate from everything else.
So we'll just show them that real quick, CW. So we'll go to the plus sign in the upper corner. We'll go to new wallet and we'll do mainnet. We're going to call it test for now. It's going to
just
give
with
us
the mainnet, you just have to make sure that that's highlighted.
That was checked, wasn't it? It's default, yeah. I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thankfully. Yep. Okay. Nobody uses this. Maybe I'll blank it out so nobody tries. So, oh, is this not present? Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm using the Windows version of this wallet. I do everything on a Mac here at the recording station, but I'm tunneling into a Windows machine and showing you this on a Windows wallet. But when I first tried to set this up, it was on the Mac wallet. And the Mac wallet actually has a feature that lets you use the mnemonic password as well, similar to how we talked about last week with Ergo. So yeah. I noticed that the Windows version does not have that when we're making this, which is very, very interesting. But we switched to the Windows version. I think CW said there's a bug in the Mac version with copying and pasting of the public keys that we need to do. And we're sure as hell not going to type those keys in manually with 7 of them.
Yeah, I think it's upwards of base 58, something like that. So it's a pretty big hash number.
Yes.
Yeah, there is just a little sort of couple of little bugs and things like that. But MHS has definitely mentioned that he will be onto those, and hopefully that'll be updated within the week thereabouts.
Fantastic. Awesome. All right, so we're going to back out of here. So let's pretend we created our new wallet, and that's our signing wallet right there. We've written down the key somewhere safe, not in a notepad on your computer or, somewhere else where anybody can see it. We've put it somewhere safe, maybe made 2 copies and hidden them both. And we're safe on that. Okay. Because remember, when you make this, if you lose this key, you're not just screwing over yourself. You're screwing over other people who are relying on you keeping that key safe and utilizing it to release funds in a multi-sig opportunity there.
That's a very clear distinction to make in regards to not only yourself there, but the multi-sig as a whole.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to hit the plus sign. We are going to choose add multi-sig wallet. We're going to call this Sigmanauts Temp. And again, this is just a local name, so you can identify it yourself. So we are going to say we have 7 people that are going to partake in this temporary wallet. And we are going to require 3 signatures. Now you can do
4 of 7.
Thank you, 4 of 7. You can do whatever you want all the way up into 7. Yep. Now this is the more you get up here, the riskier it is with this many people, as CW was saying earlier. So you're establishing a certain risk if we were to choose everybody to sign. I mean, we have a hard enough time rallying people to do voting sometimes, trying to get people to agree on this kind of thing. It's going to be very, very difficult. So as CW said earlier, a nice bit is 4 out of 7 for this ratio. If you had 5 people, maybe you want to do 3 out of 5 CW, something like that?
Yeah, 3 or 5, just having a nice little, having an odd number, but a simple majority in that respect as well. Like I said, 3 or 5's nice. I think 7 or 4 is just a nice round number. I think it's like a sweet spot, in my opinion, for like a multi-sig.
Okay, here we go. So 7 out of 4. We're going to hit next. It says select a wallet to be used as signer from your wallet. So we've already created my QX sign. We're going to use that. And you're not going to see these public keys being pasted in because they are the real thing. So I'm going to take in the remaining 6 public keys that I've been provided. Let's see. Okay, let me just make sure they all kind of reflect and there were no double copy pastes here. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct.
And you'll notice also in regards to the creation of a multi-sig wallet in Minotaur itself, the start of the actual hash for your public key, it'll always start with xpub. So if you try and import a public key from another wallet, you won't have the ability to create the wallet. It'll have to be sort of this base 58 sort of starting with that xpub set of characters there.
And I apologize for not showing that earlier, but I can show you when we're done here. I could have gone into my QX sign wallet and gone into the address book at the lower part of the screen, and it would have shown me my public key. So it shows, so if you're working with other people and they download Minotaur, you say, go to that address book button and you can see the public key, and then you send them the public key. Nobody can really do anything with this public key. That's why it's a public key essentially. So don't worry about, sending it to somebody when you're part of these groupings or anything like that. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we've got QX sign here. We've got all the remaining 6 public keys in there. We're going to hit next. And it's giving us a main address of our multi-sig wallet. Please check it. If it's not your address, you entered passphrase wrong, double check it again and try again. That is, let's see what that is. We're doing this the first time, so this is all new for me. Oh, is this a combination address or something? This is very long. All right, let's do it. To send funds from it, you need at least 4 signatures out of 7 co-signing signatures. Okay, let's hit okay. And there it is. So, should we send a test to it? And we're definitely going to have to hide this clipboard that pops up. Lots of video editing today. Okay, let's do it. Okay, that says it's done. And it doesn't show me the whole address, and I can't copy it either. I mean, the TX number, but I should be able to see it from the send that I just did. So let's go back to the main part here, and I'll show you while we're waiting to see if that will sync. We're going to go into my QX sign wallet, and where I was saying, you see the address box down here. You'll see display extended public key. And so the friends or coworkers that you would set this up with, you'd have them click that and they copy this xpub, as CW is saying, at the bottom. We've used base 58 for this kind of thing. So that's what we ask the others to send us. It's the default as well. Okay, there was some talk in chat this morning about SigRSV, SigUSD, a little bit about DEXY. So I figured we could just maybe briefly reiterate what was talked about in chat and talk about this a little bit. And I think the best thing to start out when talking about this is to define something for people. And that is, I know we did it in a show maybe over holiday break, but That's to define what the hell an oracle is. So you want to go for it, CW? You're the pro here.
Well, in simple terms, an oracle is a way to be able to get off-chain data on-chain. Because if you think about it in a simplistic term, blockchains are pretty blind, deaf, and dumb. They need data to be put into them, so then can make executions on contracts and things like that. So an oracle basically is a source of external information in off-chain and just bringing that information on-chain. So various contracts, people, etc., can take advantage of that data in various different scenarios.
So it could be anything, actually, depending on what info you want in the chain. And the way that the current system works, or the current SigUSD works, is that oracle is pointing towards some indicators of the price of Erg, the value of Erg. And it's, I think Joe had mentioned before that it's pointing at a few exchanges or aggregators around, and it's taking that number and determining a value from it and reporting that back to be used for when you mint or redeem Erg SigUSD for that kind of thing. And we should mention too that with the bear whale issue that was before, the bear was able to game that system simply because the speed of the oracle was fast, and then they could go around and arbitrage the difference there and make money off that. And the way that it was fixed is they slowed it down a little bit, if I'm correct, right, CW?
Yeah, so the premise of the initial bear whale attacks was basically manipulating that oracle price feed. So what they were doing then is jumping onto exchanges, buying, dumping, etc., to manipulate that price, and then arbitraging that difference from the contract, which hadn't sort of updated at that point. Back
at this minting site that we're seeing right here.
Yes, and or interacting directly with the contract itself. Maybe, most probably not through the UI.
Okay.
One of the fixes of that was being able to smooth the oracle price over a number of epochs for the oracle pool itself. So I think it's 5 now. So that the oracle itself on the oracle pool has a number of sort of little epochs that it does update. The time of that update was just extended a little bit to be able to sort of smooth that price and sort of limit the volatility in regards to price fluctuations on that front.
So in case people miss this, let's just hit it one more time. The oracles will gather price data. Well, at least for this specific instance, this oracle is specifically for the price of Erg. It gathers the price of Erg from many different sources, forms a consensus, and then delivers that, doesn't deliver it, but that is pinged when you are using this site right here to go from, we're in RSV actually, to go from SigUSD to Erg to SigUSD to redeem or mint kind of thing. Yeah. And as CW was saying, the bear whale, since the oracle looks at these change to determine the price, it looks at these exchanges and aggregators to determine the price, the bear whale was influencing those places to cause either a dump or a spike. And once that happened, they were able to come over here and arbitrage the difference and make some money that way.
Yeah, correct. And basically try and drain the reserves. So there was basically a big fight in the community there to try and harpoon the whale, and I think they ended up losing, I think it was around 100,000 Erg or something around that sort of mark. I'd have to go back and read up on the literature sort of that documented the saga. Yeah, there's a nice little write-up. I think it was by Glasgow.
Yeah, I saw that. He's got a nice little graphic in there too. It's on the Ergo docs. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. So you can jump Google, on there and read about the history.
Bear whale, yeah, and it'll come right up.
Yeah. So I remember when it was actually happening, it was an interesting time because you're always sort of hanging on the edge about waiting for an update and seeing like where things were at in regards to sort of harpooning, but it was good to be able to sort of get the fix in there, figure out sort of how they're trying to manipulate. And while it was quite unfortunate, some people did sort of lose money and things, but overall, it's kind of good for the ecosystem because it hardens these systems. It makes the protocol more resilient because you are actually able to build in fixes for sort of these sort of attacks.
Better now than, you know, in the future when this stuff is worth a lot more money potentially. Yeah,
exactly. And like this is the first implementation of the HQSD protocol itself, and we just saw JED being released on the Cardano blockchain, or Cody, I should say, or both of them, I should say. And they took a number of sort of scenarios from the learnings from what happened here on Ergo, and they've actually put it in the JED white paper. So Ergo is referenced in there a couple of times, and it's nice to be able to sort of provide that insight, and the collaboration being open source and everything like that as well. It hardens these systems not only for here on Ergo, but other blockchains throughout the industry as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious with what's going on in the industry that, you know, there's a little butterfly effect on certain things. If one crypto looks bad, you know, the media will jump on that, and then all cryptos kind of go down a peg. So it's really great that Ergo can you know, provide those kind of things, and you know, other people can look at us and implement based on that, which is fantastic.
Yep.
So that's Oracle. That's what's feeding the price for minting and redeeming SigUSD in this SigmaUSD portal right here. And this is a UI. CW mentioned that the bear whale is probably using programming to directly interface with the contract here, but this is the normal people's way of doing it.
Yes, and there's also Token J. They've also built a front end.
Yep.
You can jump on there, and if you've got the Ergo mobile wallet or Terminus, you can actually interact directly through there, or like QX just brought up there, the Token J website. I think it's tokenj.app.
Yep, you got it.
Memory. Yep.
So this is Token J is made by
Mr. Stahlfelger.
Stahlfelger. Perfect. And I think the exchange rates are they a little better on Token J than SigmaUSD from what I recall, or no?
The fees are a little bit better. So there's still a bank fee that the actual contract itself charges, and I think it's 2%. But yeah, the fees themselves in being able to interact with the contract through the UI, it's significantly lower, I think, from the SigUSD.io website.
Do we know who made this one?
No, I'm not too sure.
Oh, interesting. But they both, you know, of course, interact with the same bank, same contract. So it's essentially what you feel more comfortable using, and what clicks for you, and what, you know, if you prefer this, then use this. If you prefer the other, then use the other, kind of thing.
Yep, exactly.
So now for the tough question, CW. Let's see if we can stumble our way through this for everybody. The talking chats today was about SigRSV, and one of the users there was not the word. What am I looking for? Was questioning, you know, the usability of this tool for the average user, essentially. You know, they came up with a question that says, you know, this tool that we could use to either, you know, gain the market and make money is very difficult for the average user. And I don't really have an argument for that, because it's true. You know, it's like somebody, I feel it's like somebody coming to me and saying, I just loaded Robinhood app up on my phone. It's really easy to use, but I signed up for the enhanced package in Robinhood, and now I can make these calls and puts, and they're just really confusing, and I don't get it. I feel that's very similar. These are challenging tools to use because it's a bit of a complex system in that part of it. But once you get the hang of it, and once you realize what's going on, you might be able to stay on top of it and do it, but it's not an easy task from what I've seen, CW.
Yeah, they're quite complex protocols, and we've said this numerous times throughout the ecosystem in various sort of channels, and it comes down to basically knowing your assumptions. So in this case, knowing the risk profile on how the both sides of the stablecoin work. So you've got the stablecoin itself and a reserve side with the SigRSV, and just knowing how the two interact with each other. There's some complexities around it about when to redeem, when you can redeem or mint the two, so SigUSD or SigRSV. And there's a number of factors at play as well. Like initially when the protocol was sort of released, there was some sort of very high level commentary in regards to either going long or short. So utilizing SigUSD going short on ERG price, or SigRSV for longing ERG price. But there's a number of sort of intricacies there in regards to Oracle price, the price itself of ERG, the reserve ratio, how much has been minted, how much RSV you get, like the ratio for ERG to RSV and everything like that. So there's a number of things at play, and it's a little bit intricate to be able to sort of interact here.
It does. I think one of the pitfalls early on that may have led to some misconceptions is, there were maybe some one sentence liners that were able to, to explain it to a call option or something like that. And then people take that and they expand on that, and then it goes off in there. But as you said, it's way more nuanced than that. So as I posted in chat today, in very, very simple terms, as CW just hinted on as well, you have the SigRSV pool, you have the SigUSD pool. If I mint SigRSV, that SigRSV essentially is what's it called? What am I trying to say? Is a promissory note essentially to an amount of SigUSD in the SigUSD pool. All right. So let's pretend that nothing changes. I'm in SigRSV, and when I come back out, the Oracle price of ERG as a relation to the SigUSD is a certain amount. And if that stayed, if that's like it is, then I come out at that price. But what can happen, and what makes it more nuanced, is let's say we have a pool of SigUSD, a pool of SigRSV. I enter SigRSV, SigUSD stays the same, and many, many other people enter SigRSV. Now, the SigRSV pool is divided amongst more people. So the value that I had in my SigRSV is now worth less of that SigUSD. So it works the other way around too. If I jump into the SigRSV pool and more SigUSD is minted, so there's a bigger pot of SigUSD, then my SigRSV is worth more SigUSD on that aspect of it. But that's only a one-way thing. So now you have to get even more complicated, where if I jump into SigRSV and people jump out of SigRSV, but SigUSD increases, you can have a shot at exiting SigRSV at that point and getting more ERG. And then again, the other way, where you jump into SigRSV, more people jump into SigRSV, SigUSD has people exiting, and you now have less of a claim to the SigUSD over there. And there's even two more pathways that it can go as well, with up or down there. So you can see already that it gets super, super complicated on that. So if you're trying to do bets on this or trying to be involved with it, you really, really have to pay attention to the reserve ratio. You have to beat people exiting SigRSV, that are probably going to be doing it longer than you and probably going to be faster than you. Maybe even using bots for it, CW. There's a lot of factors on that. So it's a very, very complex tool for doing this kind of thing, but it does what it does. It keeps SigUSD pegged at $1, and with the minting lock or the redeem lock, depending on the reserve ratio, that's even another safety feature there for that kind of thing. So
Yeah, so you mentioned the perspective of the pools themselves. So obviously trying to outpace. So if you think about it from that perspective, it's P2P trading kind of thing. It's if you enter SigRSV, it's in my interest to try and exit before you do, because that
Exactly
increases my reward. But you add in the complexity there also of the fluctuations of Ergo price, and then that impacts the reserve ratio and when you can mint redeem and all kinds of things like that as well. So it's a tricky beast to tame, that's for sure.
Yes, I've been in it once to test it out, and I lost maybe 20 erg. And that's the last time I was in it.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, there's been a number of sort of misconceptions around it, and a lot of people have been burned, unfortunately. And one thing I do like about that scenario is that those people who were burned are then out being trying to be informative to the JED and Shen holders and try and inform them how the protocol works themselves as well. So if you can take a sort of silver lining out of it all, just in regards to that sort of perspective, I think that's one that's sort of shines a little bit bright there.
And there's going to be a, too, if anybody's interested, there's going to be a talk this Sunday with Cardano Proxy about the JED coin token and maybe a little bit about SigmaUSD and DEXY Gold. I think they invited Joe as well. And I volunteered to go as a backup if Joe wasn't available. So we'll see. That might be interesting if people want to check that out. So that's that protocol. So now CW, there's something new coming up. What's that called?
It's the DEXY protocol. So DEXY is a completely different beast in regards to sort of designs and assumptions and things like that in comparison to SigmaUSD. In regards to the algorithmic sort of side. The premise behind DEXY is you kind of do have a central bank, but then the initial Oracle price feed, it's not pegged to US dollars. It's actually somewhat pegged to the price of gold. So it's just been updated. It was at troy ounces and now it's gone to kilograms or grams. I'm not too sure what it's going to be broken down into sort of its individual units. I dare say it's probably grams, but the way it will maintain its peg of the actual price of a kilo of gold is by arbitrage opportunities through the bank and DEXs and all kinds of things like that. So it's putting the hands in the power of the trader themselves, and it's kind of relying on the premise if there is a profit to be made, someone will take advantage of that, and that will maintain the stable price there.
So I think we can always pretty much guarantee that if there's an opportunity, somebody's going to take it to make a profit.
Yeah, whether it's a large or small. A lot of little transactions do add up. So over the course of a day, a month, a week, a year sort of thing, a lot of those little sort of transactions of sort of 0.01 of an erg or even less, they do add up to a significant amount. It's just a patient waiting game. And I dare say some smart cookies in the ecosystem will sort of write some bots and try and arbitrage across numerous sort of entities, whether it's like for instance Spectrum, DEXY, the bank, all that sort of stuff. It'll be pretty cool to watch. It opens up a new market basically.
Yeah, true. And so the difference between DEXY protocol and the SigmaUSD SigmaRSV protocol is that the DEXY protocol has no reserve coin.
Yeah,
there's
correct.
no DEXY RSV or anything like that. There's no need because that correction is happening on the exchanges, on the DEXs for that.
And it's kind of happening live all the time because people are trying to keep that price stable, whether it's an increase, like a premium or a discount. It's just people trying to take that advantage, and it could be, like I sort of mentioned a little bit earlier, it could be minuscule amounts, or it's sometimes if no one's sort of up and about, it could, or there's a big influx in price of gold itself, or decrease, I should say, as well. People will take advantage of that at some point in time, and it could be pretty healthy return.
So in short, let's take an example here. So we have the Oracle getting a consensus on the price of what? ERG and XUR. Is the ticker XUR for that? The gold, silver?
XAU.
XAU. Thank you. Thank you very much.
XAG, sorry.
XAG?
Yeah.
You could have told me XRP and I'd be like, yeah, that sounds right. It started with an XCW. That's what I remember. So let's say that returns a price of that returns a price of X amount. And then the price of the swap pair on Spectrum, we'll say, is less because it hasn't caught up yet. So you can essentially mint on the protocol page, take that over to Spectrum, swap it, and make a quick profit. And as you swap that, the price will slowly come up in the DEX because you're swapping it in the reverse, and the prices will level out so people will stop swapping for a profit, kind of thing. So that's one way you can make money on the arbitrage. The other way is, since these will be on DEXY, I imagine there'll be opportunities for a DEXY Gold / ERG pair, correct?
Yeah, there's always that possibility. Yeah, yeah.
So there's
always that possibility. So you could arbitrage SigUSD and gold. Oh, sorry, SigUSD and DEXY. Yeah, it's the most interesting part, or one of the most interesting parts in regards to this, is it's pegged to the price of a commodity, not USD in simple terms there. So yes, I'm really interested to see how this one plays out.
Is this are we the first to do this?
I believe so. I haven't been following along too much in other ecosystems over the last sort of 12 to 18 months thereabouts. But I haven't come across something similar. Yeah, I wonder myself. I haven't come across anything in regards to this sort of design, and if there is regulation around stable coins, it's interesting to see how the price pegged to a commodity and being able to utilize that in different ways could be a way to sort of step around or sidestep sort of certain regulations there. But who knows what's happening on the regulation front. But yeah, it's just one thing to sort of keep in mind.
And as Joe said, it doesn't have to be gold. It can be oil, DEXY oil, or something like that. Any sort of valuable commodity there.
Yeah, or could be rice, coffee, you name it, or you bring all those together and have a basket of commodities.
Now you're talking. So, interesting.
Yeah. Interesting to think about. And we'll see how it all sort of comes to light in the future.
So I believe Joe Armenio is working on a nice little presentation right up for DEXY Gold. So that should be out soon, maybe the next few weeks, and we can digest that and talk about that more. And I'm sure it'll be public at some point where all of you can digest it. So that'll be a nice thing to read. I feel DEXY is going to be a little bit more in the grasp of people, of everyday traders, to be able to, realize how they can utilize that function, as opposed to a little more complexities of SigRSV and SigUSD.
Yeah, exactly right. If you look at a couple of infographics and things on the SigUSD side, there is a couple there that sort of highlight how things operate on a high level, but taking into account the variables of price and everything like that, and the nuances, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, there is sort of some interesting things there. But yeah, in regards to actually trading and arbitrage, it's sort of in the realms of the everyday trader taking advantage of that across, or who may take advantage of the price take advantage of the price of Ergo across different exchanges and things like that. So, it should be something a little bit that traders are more comfortable with in that front.
All right, CW, let's jump over to the Ergo marketing updates that happen every Wednesday morning at 1 p.m. UTC. I say Wednesday morning because it's morning my time, but it's 1 p.m. UTC.
Yeah, it's extremely early my time.
Yes. All right. Here we go. Let's start off with Grand Gambit. They're testing quicker bets. It looks like it works. We'll probably release both fast plays and auto refund. Example for buggy plays where the user signs the TX but nothing happens at the same time within 1 to 2 weeks. That's fantastic. After that, I will probably be listing both EGIO token and Flux token. Flux team have already sent me a few tokens to start with. I wonder what he means by few. Does he mean like 3 tokens or like thousands?
Yeah, you'll have to jump on there and start gambling. Find out.
That's true. Okay, so that Grand Gambit is the old Erg flip for those of you who haven't been paying attention there or have been living under a rock. Rebranded and really did a really nice interface design too, and it looks really top shelf.
Yeah, the UI there's really great. It's nice to see. Okay, so scrolling down, next up we have Foeniculum. So Fo has been busy creating some more Perplexus art. So he's about 33% or 1/3 of the way through that. He's finished up a few commissions. He is working on the Duckpools Linktree wallpapers. There's episode 5 of the Ergo Cardano space on lending protocols, which was complete. And there's an NDA or Ergonomes thingies for February. So watch this space or soon. Thanks for dropping that little hint.
NDA Ergonomes thingies for February. Last time he did this, it was a grouping with duck pools, right? He had that secret thing where he was designing the logos and art for duck pools or something.
Yeah, there was that one, and also Blitz.
The
collaboration with Blitz.
Right. Yeah. CW, I would love, I see the second thing there. It says finished up a few commissions. I would love to just dump Erg on people like Fo and the Cyberpunk and Walrus and all those kind of guys. But and ErgoSaurs, all that stuff. But I can't, it's worse than gambling, I swear. Because once you start that and you give, what is it, a couple hundred Erg for a commission piece or whatever they charge, it's just over. You just will drain your wallet. So I purposely stay away from doing that because I know it's going to be bad news, and it hurts a little bit, but I got to do it for my own retirement's sake.
Yeah, it's bad news on your wallet. It's good news for the artist, and it would be good news for the amazing art you would have received for that commission piece.
I know. It's addiction though. All right. AllCyberPunk already minted 100% of the NFTs from the Cyberpunk Mythology collection, and almost 90% of them have been sold. That's amazing. They're enormously grateful for all the support. It makes them happy to know that there are people from Cardano who have inaugurated their collection of Ergo NFTs with my NFTs. That is cool. And they have a list of some current active auctions that you can check out.
Yeah, pretty unique artwork there.
Oh, should we mention this? Fo forwarded this. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, so Fo created a post from MHS Sam's Rosenbridge update from this week. So it's basically tests are going well. So today and tomorrow, this is going back a couple of days, we'll do the last rounds of private tests, and then if successful, they'll deploy to the public test ASAP. And there's a number of pretty cool UI screenshots that
Damn, it looks good, doesn't it?
MHS and his team are sort of teasing us with. So it's looking pretty cool.
It does. It looks really nice.
Yep.
All right, let's see. We have QX next. Who's that guy? With the Sigma update that we're doing now. We already talked about how there are no guests this week. But Sigmanauts this Sunday discussing new voting techniques to further engagement. Discussing easier ways to bring in SIG cans without voting, possibly. and working on temp multi-sig wallet for community donation to the upcoming Treasury Day, which we just showed you. So awesome.
Good to see there, mate. And next we have a tweet from HQ here, and then on Ergo. So he's released the calendar as promised. So all events and fun is all located in the same place. So you have the ability to list and check announcements, AMAs, spaces, ongoing IDOs, but then also don't forget to check the Rosenbridge UI that we just displayed and the latest updates. Thank you very much for that.
That is cool. We're going to start hopefully using that community calendar. It's more like an events calendar, I think I explained last week, where we can post the meetings coming up and that kind of thing and what we're working on. So that'll be great to see. Yeah. Every time we mention HQ in the Sigma update, he posts on chat that he's been mentioned. He says he's mentioned at least 4 times each episode.
Yeah, he can retire now.
Yes.
So one thing I look forward to in this respect is projects actually sort of utilizing the service and posting updates and things like that regularly on the website. So it just keeps the community informed in that front.
Yeah, one-stop shops are nice, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we have Sisyphuspush, who you saw join one of the early episodes here. Ergo NFT award voting has closed. We'll make an official announcement with Graphic on Friday. Sent the list of winners to award artists so they can complete the personalization of each award. We'll start reaching out to winners this week to get wallet addresses for NFT and try to coordinate shipping of physical tokens. Still some work to be done with awards until they are completed, but hoping to get them sent out within the next 2 weeks. Appreciates everyone's participation in the event, and he looks forward to an even bigger one next year. Special thanks to, got to mention him again, HQ. Shit. And Ergo for hosting, voting, and assistance with graphics. So just as a reminder for Sisyphuspush, hosted this really cool nomination process of several categories, similarly like the Oscars or the whatever that other show is where people get all dressed up, rich people get all dressed up. Emmys, is that it?
I don't know, mate.
Similar to that. Similar to that, where you can choose NFT artists in certain categories, and Ergo posted them on the website and everybody voted on them, and the winners have been chosen. And Sis is doing something really cool as well, not just digital awards, but he's found an artist that does physical tokens, physical awards, as well as on the back, or it comes with a piece of paper that you can QR scan, and you have a digital copy of that award as well. So it's a physical and digital, which is really cool. I love it when those kind of projects, transcend realms like that.
Yeah, exactly. As you can see, like even for myself, I've got a number of sort of NFTs printed behind me, and having that in a physical sort of presence in your life. I've got some in my daughter's room as well. So pretty cool. But actually having a plaque or an award and things like that, you take a little bit of pride in that and displaying it in your home. Okay, next up, once again, just a quick little shout out here to HQ. He's got a link there for if you want to add news onto Ergo. So please add your announcment, just help out in figuring out any bugs, etc. So if you provide that service and you do run into anything untoward, by all means, just let him know so we can fix that up. And next, after that little announcement, we have Andy. So on the Discover Ergo front, so there's been a little bit of confusion.
Can you mention who Andy is?
Yeah, so Andy is our video editor. So he performs all the AMAs and video editing for summits and hackathons, everything like that. So basically anything you see on the Ergo platform website, Andy's had his hands on it. So he's not, he comes up for air every so often into the public chats and things like that. But yeah, he's not too sort of forward facing in that respect, very active behind the scenes. And he's, very, very proactive on that front. So he actually, himself, Andy, and Jay the Ergod sort of started this initiative, so Discover Ergo, which was some time ago. So We're just finally figuring out how to comment all the sort of funds and everything like that to be able to distribute them. It took a lot of work because there was a lot of tweets and data to get through and who got what and what allocation goes to who and things like that. So actually got all the funds now in his possession to be able to make those transactions. So he just needs to start giving out all the tips. So he created a new account on Twitter to use Luavatra's tipper bot. That account got blocked, unfortunately. So probably because it was new and not belonging to any real human. We all know what happened there. So just now to figure out a way to either use his personal Twitter account to give out the awards or just ask for wallet addresses and send. So I'm of the mindset to be able to utilize the tipper bot because obviously going out and talking or trying to get addresses from 50 odd people and things like that, some people will be proactive. You'll have to keep chasing people up. So if you can just send it out there to the Twitter handle itself, that's one way to sort of mitigate that. So you just might do a combination of the two since the Twitter bot would be easier, but just needs wallet addresses to send the NFTs anyway for the top 5 winners. And hopefully it's all distributed soon, whatever happens. This has been a good learning experience for the next community run event like this, it'll be much more smooth. So it's good to, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go for it, CW.
I was just going to say, it's good to sort of get all these teething things out of the way and streamline processes and things like that. But thanks everyone for being patient while all this has been sort of processed. It's been a nice little community initiative there, and it comes up every now and then. You see the questions come up in regards to this distribution of funds and things. So there wasn't a lot of data to get through. I actually saw the amount of tweets and things like that where people were using the hashtag, and it's pretty significant. So going through that, comparing everything, and all that's like levels of engagement through impressions, retweets, likes, you name it. So yeah, it's pretty big undertaking there, I'd just say. So it's good to see it all sort of come to finalization and distribution of the rewards.
So I just had a worry, CW, and that worry is with the announcement from Twitter today where API calls or API access is going to start to be charged. So you're going to, my worry is that, I mean, what's the incentive for Luavatra to continue running this Twitter bot if he's got to pay for, that kind of thing? Which is a real bummer. Exactly.
It's a very good point. And we've got 5 days thereabouts or so to be able to make these, well, for Andy to be able to make these calls while the API calls are still free. So we'll see if we can get those distributed in time.
You know what would be nice? Maybe if Luavatra, for every transaction, split off a fee from the TipperBot wallet of whatever's being transacted to 0.001 or whatever. So he's making a tiny bit to help with servers or that kind of thing. I certainly wouldn't care to pay a little extra to continue to use TipperBot on all these platforms for that kind of thing. Doesn't seem like it'd be too hard to do on his end to just take a percentage and divert it to his program or wallet and pay for services there. We shouldn't be somebody told me once, I think I was talking to, I can't remember, maybe it was Coltier. I was speaking to him about accepting money for services and telling people not to pay me and that kind of thing. And, he had some good advice that he's like, dude, people, you're doing work for free. You should be paid for the work that you do, and nobody's gonna think badly of that, somebody asking for payment for work that they do. And it's, shouldn't be thought of as a bad thing, just because it's open source doesn't mean that it doesn't cost Luavatra money to run the servers for that kind of thing that he might be paying out of his pocket as far as that goes.
Yeah, or just simply time as well. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time to develop and maintain and upkeep all this sort of stuff. So in regards to like a UI or so a UX sort of fee, I'm all for it. It adds a little bit of incentive there for the developers. It's automatic. It's all built into the transaction, and it could just be a minute or insignificant amount in regards to the transaction as a whole. So I'm all for it. So we'll just have to see how it all plays out.
Stupid Twitter. My goodness. Maybe that's Elon's goal, is just to destroy Twitter.
Monetize everything, mate.
Oh boy. Okay, this is a nice one right here. We have NoahErgo doing a little announcement that after months of pushing and prodding and working behind the scenes, can finally say Ergo integration is planned for Coinly. This was purely community effort and really came down to stubbornness. So serves as a good example of how we can organize as a group and push these integrations out. You know, bug them until they respawn. Keep pushing on them. You know, we're even, you know, we may not be the biggest community, but if we're persistent, it sure is going to feel like a pain in the ass to whoever we're, you know, trying to integrate with, or that kind of thing for these kind of tooling. So, I mean, I'm not saying like be an asshole or anything like that, but, you know, be persistent and have good reasoning, and, you know, this kind of stuff will happen.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Noah's took the lead on that one. He found the need for being able to account for his taxes and things like that. And he just basically reached out to Coinly at one point and asked the question, can you integrate Ergo NFTs and Ergo native tokens?
What's on your mind, CW?
Always NFTs. So he actually rallied around, got some community engagement. If you actually have a look, I think there's a proposal site on Coinly itself, and making suggestions and things like that for integrations and things. And Ergo was at the top of the charts there for people making requests and things like that. So our little community, while it's quite small in regards to say larger sort of even top 10, top 20, top 50 sort of things, we're still pretty vocal and active and engaged, which is amazing to see. And all these little sort of things help everyone throughout the ecosystem. I, for one, am pretty up to date on my taxes. It's one thing I don't want to have to keep sort of constantly having in the back of my mind that I owe money or anything like that. One thing one of my accountants said to me very early on in my life, if I'm paying taxes, it means I'm making money. So it's one thing I always keep on top of there, just for my own personal mindset. So thanks very much for taking that initiative, Noah. It's greatly appreciated.
All right. Next one for you, CW.
Oh, this is a big one.
It's a big one.
From Mr.Pixel and the Cyberverse. So there's a number of sort of things here. On the game front, there's a number of updates. So fixed the city map design. There were many bugs with the layers, fixed several bugs, added extra security for the game code to avoid cheating, changed fee for verification to CYPX instead of ERG, added a UI for the player to send the fee, added the login UI and background, added new verification UI, added minting citizen UI for people who connect to the game without a cyber citizen NFT. They've added daily rewards, so UI and the API, added barman job rewards and leader UI, added barman job rewards tier list, added barman job leaderboard with top players for the day, and added a REST API. It's quite the mouthful. And on to the next one. So the game launch, there's an official announcement tomorrow and a white paper. So that would have already been released at the time of this video release. So there's a private test on Thursday.
Today.
So they shared the link. Yep. Today, when at the time of recording. So that link should be shared with the community. The public test is actually on Saturday. It'll last for 1 to 2 weeks. The public test will be for everyone who has at least one citizen. If you don't have any, you can just connect a wallet and it shows you the UI for newcomers with minting information to mint one, or simply just go to Sky Harbor and purchase one. Please be aware that's a very early version. That means not all features are already added and bugs may appear. The basics are finally done and we can move forward to adding more and more features as time goes on. So far, the roadmap. So phase 1, we haven't managed to add the NFTs in the museum and marketplace due to the delay with the NFT verification. Oh, deep breath.
You got it.
And now on to what features will people be able to see in the public version. So there's the Siberia map. You can select Cyber Citizens menu, balance of the CYPX token or ERG or ERG. You can see the museum, bank with claimable daily rewards. There's an audio player with audio NFTs. There's a club and barman job, reward tiers and leaderboard on top of the players of the day, apartments and its fully customizing feature. There's placeable NFTs of ErgoPixel's collection on apartment walls. There's an XP level and stamina system for the cyber citizen, and there's job skills, and they'll be refreshed and upgraded over time. Ooh. The white paper V3, so they'll share that along with the official announcement on the game launch. And then on the artist front, there's working on 217 new unique features for the apartment, fixing the current furniture. So there's around 383 pieces with more colors and styles. Now on Discord, they're adding a ranking bot. So just shows the top one cyber citizen with the best ranking score. Ergo Gallery. Cyber citizens are soon to be released on Ergo Gallery. So thanks very much to Andrew and ergogallery.com if you want to check that out. And Cyber Citizens Wave 3. Wave 3 will be resumed along with the Cyber Citizens launch next week. There's 333 NFTs remaining. And then on the rewards front, there is 113 cyber eggs remaining, 25 capsules of serum, 6 body parts, and 3 apartments.
That's a mouthful, CW.
Thanks very much for that very, very in-depth update.
Is this a team or is this one person with CyberPixel? Do you know?
It's a very small team.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty cool little game that they've got set up. I like the museum, being able to sort of jump into the apartments and sort of furnish as you wish. I did mention you can have NFTs up on your wall like someone else. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is neat. And I think the vesting schedule for CYPX is almost a fifth of the way through. I think, if I can do the math in my head correctly, with how many are on my dashboard and how many still have yet to be released. Maybe close to a fifth, maybe a sixth, whatever that ratio is. All right, here we go with Tulo, Ergo Minnow. Season 1 mint has concluded and the rest of the collection is being burned to promote scarcity. Our PvP bot went live today. That's right. You should check that out, guys. They made an announcement the other day. Tulo had... oh, well, maybe they're going to explain it here. Let's see. No, they didn't. They hired and developed a PvP bot, so your actual champions could fight each other, essentially, I believe.
Yep.
So Orobor, founder of Adventures.dao, has coded several things for our project, including wallet verification, the PvP bot, ability to check what champions someone holds in their wallet, a prestige ranking table to show who is leading the PvP charts. And then there's a bunch of commands at Tulo lists that we don't need to read specifically. You guys can read those if you like. He says that those are the commands that are working with our new PvP bot. And here's a picture of what the PvP bot looks like. I'm going to click on this, but it might, there we go, it comes up. Oh, nifty. Right in Discord. That is pretty darn cool. Dang. The winner is based on rarity, ranking, and random events. Also, Season 2 mint will, in fact, be on February 10th. And I think, if I remember correctly, he said that even though the winner is based on rarity, ranking, and random events, or rarity ranking specifically too, you can take multiple ERG champions and fight them against something. So if I have 3 lower based ERG champions, I can fight them against one a higher ranked in rarity ERG champion, have a little better chance at actually winning, which is really cool for the little guy who can't pump out those kind of ERGs for the big rare ones. So that's pretty neat. And I think we're scrolling way down here for the last one for you.
Yeah, scroll down to LADOPIXL. So from now on, his Twitter account, the Henry NFTs, will also publish content about Ergo in Spanish, as we have a nice little community there, and he thinks that's necessary. So being able to make those translations and provide that service there, thanks very much, mate.
It's crazy to think of that. Like there's like as you were saying, there's Asian community as well of Ergo, and the Spanish community as well. And here we are thinking we're like the center of Ergo when we're not. You know, it's there's a whole other groups and pockets of places out there that are celebrating Ergo and being part of it, and it's pretty humbling, essentially, to have that realization.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to jump onto the Ergo chats, I believe Telegram channel, you can jump on there. You can see all the regional sort of centers that we have, but that's not necessarily all as well. So there's communities in Discord, Twitter, Facebook groups, WeChat, for instance, in the services and everything that are offered in the Asian market. Like it's a huge, big global community, and being an English speaker, just one little part of that.
I think it's a common thing for English speakers to feel like they're geocentric kind of thing. All right, great. So I think I explained a little bit about the Sigmanaut meetings. As I said, I haven't written the agenda for it, but I'll write it and throw it in the Sig chat for those of you that are in there. So you guys can add things if you want to speak about it. But as I said, we're going to make sure this multi-sig wallet works, and we're going to get that temporary seed and get that going. And then we're going to start talking about continuing to work on figuring out what a treasury looks like for the Sigmanauts and what the treasury means. You know, do we participate in community marketing funding or promotions or bringing awareness to Ergo, and what that kind of thing, how that looks, and how we continue to seed and fund that treasury is going to be a pretty decent sized discussion and not an easy undertaking.
Yeah, that's it's going to be pretty in-depth discussion there, because obviously any management of funds, things can get messy pretty quickly if things aren't sort of articulated properly. People thinking they're entitled for some things that others people may not necessarily think is of value, or to the value that some people think. But it's a tricky conversation, but we've got some really amazing Sigmanauts to be able to sit there and discuss all these sort of things, ongoing management, ongoing funding, all that sort of stuff. It's pretty interesting to keep an eye on.
And if you guys want to join it, anybody listening want to join it, as we say every other week or so, the Sigmanaut program is really for everybody. You know, whatever your level of engagement that you want it to be, that's what it's about. If you want to engage in these meetings and engage in a treasury committee or a governance committee, or you want to engage in the chats, or you want to stay away from all that and maybe just talk about Ergo on Twitter, or even just continue what you're doing to be present and encourage, kind of thing. It's the whole spectrum of everything there is what makes a SigCan or a Sigmanaut. And also, you know, by being a SigCan or a Sigmanaut, you can come to these Zoom meetings and have those discussions and chat about that and have some influence over Ergo and more of a, you know, I realize it's kind of more of an organized fashion than throwing things out in chat. But it's helpful to do those kind of things in that organized structure. And you can be part of that too. So please, we encourage you to hop on and try it out.
Yeah, definitely. And where can one sign up?
They can go to, I'll put the link down below, but they can go to our Sigmanauts Twitter, and that takes them to a little page in our bio. Under our bio, there's a link that takes us to the Ergo platform website, where it gives a little overview of the Sigmanauts, and there's a link to the submission form to become in the Sigmanaut program. Right now, as of the 2nd, it's paused. The voting is paused while we figure out a more efficient way to bring on SigCans into the Sigmanaut program. We hopefully will figure that out this Sunday. I have a little bit of programming to do that I've been putting off this week. Hopefully I can finish it by Sunday to modify the voting program that we use that I wrote. But hopefully we should have votes turned back on in the next few days so that we can start bringing in more people and having more discussions and getting the community organization as far as that goes more forward.
Yep, very well said, mate.
I think that's it, CW. I remember at the beginning of this show, we were like, let's see if we can do this in half an hour since we don't have a guest.
Yeah, it's pretty significantly overtime on this one.
Oh, crap.
It's pretty funny. Always happens.
I know. You wanna go through the shows? You got them from memory, CW, of upcoming shows?
Yes. So Tuesday is the community chats. Wednesday, what's Wednesday? We have the developer update and the marketing update. Thursday we have the AMAs. Friday we have SIG update released, and Sunday we have the developer update. I think that's all of them. Did
you get the CW hash it out?
Oh, hash it out as well. Yes.
Goodness, CW.
Yeah, exactly. So we try and release that one on Wednesdays, but we'll see where that comes with regards to editing and things like that. So.
And I've been bad at I think I've missed the last 2 Fridays and had to release on Saturday morning. It's, after this show, it's 10:43 Eastern time. I go upstairs, pass out within 20 minutes, and then I have to work the next day. So then I try to crunch it out on Friday afternoon when I get home. But as you guys saw, if you scroll up, maybe I'll post that with the next tweet when I post this video. But you can see a recording that I did watching me edit the entire Sigma update last week, and it's reduced down to a 3-minute video. But it's I watched the fantastic Mr. Fox while doing it, and it took the entire movie to edit. You can see in the film it's kind of funny. But yeah, so I get it out as soon as I can. It is a bit of a lift, so sometimes I release it on Saturday, but yeah.
The amount of production and things that actually go into creating this video, it's not just you tuning in and seeing the pretty faces of our pretty faces. There's a number of things that happen on behind the scenes, organization, recording, scripting, runner shows, the whole editing aspect, the uploading, writing descriptions on YouTube and things like that. Like it all takes its time. Even the thumbnails. One of the things I struggle with, trying to make that sort of engaging and little things like that. But there's a number of things that go on behind the scenes that not many people sort of necessarily think about.
If you look at the thumbnails on YouTube, you'll notice I purposely try to scrub to a spot in the video where either CW and I, one of us is laughing and one of us is smiling. So we have that classic YouTube engagement picture.
Yeah, exactly. The bane of my existence, that one.
Oh boy. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. If this comes out on Saturday, have a nice Saturday night and a fantastic Sunday, and good luck with the week to come.
Yeah, most definitely. Always pleasure chatting, mate, and thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a good one.